Hey, it's Wafaa. I'm turning 25 next week and I absolutely do not like it. So let's get into it. So, 25 is a young age, right? I always envisioned my 25-year-old self to be someone who is confident, stable, financially secure, knows her choices and is confident in her choices, and is seeking success, is already closer to success. She's chasing her dreams. She knows her dreams. She knows what she wants out of life and she's chasing it. But it is not the reality I'm living right now. And that can be a bit disappointing. I'm not going to lie. I thought that I would have my life together, that I would know what I want as a career. I would know what my goals are. I would be a bit better in managing my emotions. I would have stable friendships and relationships. I would be experiencing all of this that I wanted to experience out of life, like traveling, buying a car, maybe buying a house, even though maybe that's like a really unrealistic expectation at 25, I admit. But things like that, where I kind of had expectations for, but did not happen. And then you go into this comparison spiral, right? Where you see people on social media, literally, like they are still in their 20s and they're buying houses, they're buying cars, they're traveling, they're getting engaged, they're getting promoted at their new job, they are speaking in front of an audience at an event, they are I don't know, buying a pet, maybe they're buying a dog, which I want to buy a dog, but things like that, where it just feels like everyone is ahead of you and you are missing something. You are not understanding something. There is a catch somewhere that you're not able to grasp. So it can be very annoying. It can be a very annoying feeling. Definitely feel annoyed because I'm like, what am I doing wrong that people are achieving things already and I am not there yet? And that is really just frustrating to experience. And I know everyone's timelines is different. And I feel like this is something everyone knows, that each has their own timeline and you're going to get there sooner or later. It's just different stages in life. And that is totally understandable. But it's just how social media has grown so much and has oversell a lot of the realities that people live, that you just kind of forget that. Your mind forgets that. And then you just kind of go into that spiral of like, how is everyone else successful except me, right? And I know that 25 is not old. I still have a lot of time, inshallah, to chase my dreams, make my dreams a reality, figure things out, figure what I want out of this life. And I get that. Um, but it still feels like I've been like an adult for 5 years and I still haven't figured it out. And also now I'm officially gonna be closer to 30 than 20. And that is also scary because also 30 is an age where like I have to figure things out. I have to know myself more. I have to be more sure of myself and what I want, like as my dreams, as my goals, as my ambitions. And just feeling that I'm closer to like to 30 and there's somehow a countdown that nobody really has set except you, and you realize like everyone else has this, also this countdown in their mind. We're like, you just gotta finish some things up before you hit 30, because once you hit 30, like there's some things that you can't do anymore that you might be a bit too late for. So that also countdown in my mind kind of puts the pressure on myself. And I'm sure a lot of you guys, 20-year-old people out there also relate. So it's a really tricky time to navigate. So I guess what I'm grieving right now is not necessarily how I'm 25. It's not really about the number. It's more about the version of Wafa that I thought would be right now. Someone who's a bit more confident, like stable, like financially stable, has traveled a bit, lived her single life, is going out a lot, has like a big group of friends, but also the things that I thought that I would achieve, right, by this age. Um, and that is like a grief that you deserve and I deserve to just feel until and I just gotta make amends with it, that I am not that person anymore. Not saying that I'm not evolving, right? And I'm not growing. And I'm very thankful for that. I mean, every birthday that you go through, there is an amount of grief, but there is also an amount of gratitude that you feel. Because, first of all, you are growing healthy, right? You're growing with your loved ones, you're growing with family, with people you love and appreciate. And that's such a blessing that not all people have. So, feeling grateful for that is really important. But you also grieve a version of you that in maybe some lifetime would have been what you wanted, right, by that age. Not necessarily that you are not a version of yourself that you're proud of and you appreciate and you're grateful of. Of course, I still feel that, but there is just a higher expectations that I had to myself that I did not meet. And that could be a bit just realistic. And when reality hits, you kind of have to just make amends with it. And that's what I've been trying to do, and kind of zoom out a bit of like what I've been doing and just zoom out and see where my life has been for the past 10 years and what it is now, and see growth in a bit bigger picture rather than everyday growth. Because if you measure by everyday, you're not going to have a lot of milestones that you think that you've hit. But when you zoom out and you see it as a full picture, you see how much growth you compare to your 15-year-old self, right? And your 20-year-old self. So growth, I think, is just takes time to happen, and it takes time to notice as well. So that's why I think it's also important to reflect on the good things that you are achieving. Even if there are smaller achievements, I think you got to make a big deal in your mind of your smaller achievements, because that's what give you self-confidence and a push to always move forward and chase what you want, right? So for me, for example, I think I've become more confident in myself. I've come a bit more careless about what people think of me. I've come a bit more real to myself and to people around me about who I am as a person, and tried to stop hiding that side of me that I thought that if I showed, people would not like me or people would not appreciate me. Um, and I've just started to show more of that side. And for people who really care about me, they actually enjoyed it. And for people who don't, they weren't probably the right people to start with. So, not that I'm saying that I'm fully confident right now. I'm not at all. I still have a lot of days where I'm self-doubting myself, self-doubting like really small things about myself. So like my outfits, or the way I speak, or the way I write, or the way I convey my ideas. Like always criticizing myself, and I've done that and I continue to do that. But also I've become more aware of how I speak to myself, and that is giving me a bit more of awareness of where how can I grow in that right area, right? How can I be more self forgiving, self loving, and easier on myself. And that's really important, I think, to everyone, because I think you only have the full story of where your life is. So it's important that you, as a person who has the full story, to be forgiving to yourself, right? And you're allowed to make mistakes and also understand yourself and why you make them. Other people might judge you, and that's fine, but they don't have the full story of who you are. You only have that. So that's kind of my thoughts around that. Um, as I said, like I still feel like I have a lot of more to grow into, and I'm excited of what my 30-year-old self will be like. I might not find a lot has changed. I might have find everything has changed. Um, so I'm excited, and it's a journey that you take day by day. So I'm gonna keep reminding myself that 25 is not necessarily a year where I need to have everything figured out. It's a year of just honesty, showing honesty within yourself, feeling a bit more grateful and more present in your day to day life, and just keep reminding myself that those timelines that I set in my head are unreal. And I'm also, for my goals and dreams, I'm gonna work on them. I am gonna start like taking the first step and the second step towards them. And if I can't find the road yet to where to start, that is also fine. The road will show itself to me in the right time. So that's also really important to keep reminding yourself with. And lastly, I'm gonna try to enter the year with less pressure and more joy. I can't even start to think about turning 26. That sounds really scary to me because yeah, that in my head is like, okay, the countdown has officially started to 30, but something in myself where I just need to make amends with me aging and not hitting the timelines, as I said, that I was supposed to, even though those timelines were just set by me, and they are unreal, as I said. So yeah, whatever age you're turning this year, make sure you enjoy it. You live it to the fullest. You're gonna be that age only once in your life. So I'm gonna be 25 only once. This is the first and the last time I'm gonna be 25 because next year I'm gonna turn 26. So if you think about that, you really start to think that why am I wasting so much time just overthinking and setting unrealistic expectations to what I'm supposed to be when there's nothing really that I can control right now on what I can achieve and what can I not. So I'm just going to try to live my day to the fullest, live my year to the fullest, make the best out of 25 because it's only going to happen once, as I said, and just try to be the best version of myself at this age that I can be. So yeah, happy birthday. Whether it's your birthday or your birthday already happened or it's gonna happen, happy birthday. I hope this year has a lot of good things in store for you. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.